Talking about mayors from El Cajon, from San Marcos, from Chula Vista, who all say their own residents use Balboa Park and that they're mad about these fees. They say they don't want to have to use these parking kiosks. They don't want to have to pay to park here. Now, one of their arguments is we don't charge City of San Diego residents to use our parks, so this just isn't fair.
This is not about politics. It's about public access, and it's about fairness. And it's about recognizing Balboa Park is a regional treasure and not just a budget tool.
Let's not kid ourselves. This is really balancing everything on the backs of the poor, because the wealthy can afford to pay the parking. But it's really not the wealthy who generally come. There are people that come to Balboa Park and they bring their families because they have nowhere else that they can afford to go on a weekend.
And everyone's been talking about this video one of our CBS 8 colleagues took here at Balboa Park yesterday. Now, the weather was gorgeous, but the parking lots were empty. And the concern is, what if this continues? What if it continues to look like this here? And what if people stop showing up, stop spending money at the museums and the restaurants? So the director of the San Diego Air and Space Museum said it just doesn't make sense to come to Free Museum Tuesdays and pay for parking. Now, on the flip side of this, the mayors were asked, you're very concerned about Balboa Park. Would you be willing to use a portion of your budget to pay to maintain Balboa Park? And here were some of their responses.
A lot of shopping in San Diego myself personally, and many of our residents do as well. I would never, and during the pandemic, we had all of our trails open and they were used by everyone in the county.
If you look at Sandag and you look at the transit sales tax, the preponderance of the money that our citizens spend don't go to building transportation systems out in El Cajon. They go to building bike lanes, and they go to building trolleys and transportation systems here in the city of San Diego.
And I asked San Marcos Mayor Jones, in a way, aren't you comparing apples to oranges? You're comparing a huge park like Balboa Park to a small park in San Marcos. It's not really the same thing, or, to maintain it is not quite the same. And, she told me the bottom line is parks are really important, and the city of San Diego should just find a way to make it free here to park. Back to you.
Okay, Kelly, so where do we go from here? We know the majority of the council voted in favor of these parking fees. Now they're all over the place. Some of them want to get rid of the fees now. A couple of them want to suspend them. But the mayor's office says, no, we're pushing forward with this, right?
Yeah, the mayor's office today, when I reached out to them, says, yeah, we are not backing down on this. They said about 2,000 people have already signed up for paying for parking or for parking permits. The mayor's office says, this is a direct funding source to maintain Balboa Park. So no, we are not going to go backwards on this. Now, it is certainly possible that the council could repeal or vote to suspend the fees. They could have a majority that would go for that. It's possible that could happen. The mayor, however, could veto that, and then it would take 6 council members then to override his veto. So there is a path forward potentially, but we're just going to have to see how this plays out.